DeWanda Wise and Tonya Lee on the Netflix reboot of Spike Lee's She's Gotta Have It. Thanks to Spike Lee's enduring legacy and Netflix magic, Nola Darling, the problematic heroine from the black film pioneer's bold 1986 indie feature film debut She's Gotta Have It, has been resurrected for the 21st century. This time around, there is an extended look with 10 full half-hour episodes. True to the film, Nola has a rotation of 3 male lovers. There is Jamie Overstreet, lyric bent, a financially secure, slightly older man who is in a complicated marriage and has a child, sneakerhead Mars Blackman, Anthony Ramos from Hamilton fame, and the narcissistic self-obsessed model, photographer Greer Childs, Cleo Anthony. Unlike the film, which is only 86 minutes long, and alludes to Nola's relationship with her female lover, Opal Gilstrup, Ilfin Hadra, the Netflix series fleshes it out. In fact, Nola describes herself as a sex-positive, polyamorous pansexual. Sex isn't the only thing that defines Nola's life. She is also a struggling artist living in a gentrifying Brooklyn, N.Y., Fort Greene specifically. This time around, she also has friends, particularly gallery owner Chlorine de Bradford, Margot Bingham of Boardwalk Empire fame, and Brooklyn homegirl Shamka Epps, China Lane. Nola's rebirth comes through DeWanda Wise, whom some may recognize from Shots Fired and Underground earlier this year. Lee credits the idea of bringing Nola into this moment to his wife Tonya Lee, who convinced him that the film would work well in series form. Earlier in the year, during a Cadillac-sponsored conversation at the American Black Film Festival in South Beach, Miami, Wise and Lee offered insights about the series, which started streaming Thanksgiving Day. The story is specifically about retaining your sense of self and finding yourself, Wise shared. It's now, it's present, and it's always this thing that is evolving. Wise also shared that it was my job to expound on that character and to glean what I could from that performance and from that film, and also see what I could do to update it, to specify it. But Wise also admitted to bringing some of herself to Nola Darling and amending the title in her mind to She's Gotta Have It All to really dig deep. I don't want to live a compromised life. I feel like I should be able to have love and have a career and have like the fullness of family, and that's what Nola is fighting for, an uncompromised life. It was very important to Wise that there was a female community behind the updated Nola. From the writer's room to Tonya, who I talked to before I accepted the role, to the women, executives, at Netflix, when you have this story, which is Nola's story, knowing that there is an army of women surrounding you, I mean, to have that feeling of safety, it's comforting. Lee, a former lawyer who pulls no punches, was very clear that, while Wise saw She's Gotta Have It as Nola's story and essentially one that women should and ought to handle, it wasn't necessarily Spike Lee's view. Spike will be the first to tell you, and certainly he's told me a million times, I created Nola. So it's from a man's mind, and that's the thing that has been interesting in working on this with Spike, she said. He created Nola Darling and made She's Gotta Have It. It came from a man looking at, as he would say, men playing women, and he wanted to flip the script and see a woman playing men, but it's from a man's mind. So, in a way, as we got deeper into the conversation, in some ways, there were things that I think Spike was a little blinded by, and frankly some of the men in the writer's room who didn't quite get it. And then it's like, well, who is this for? She continued. It's really for women. Instead of eliciting frustration only, however, Lee reported something different. So it's been an interesting conversation and an interesting exercise to really talk about who Nola is with all these women at the table, with the man at the helm telling us what it is and us telling him what it is, she said. But I think we've come to a really great place and really created great conversations.